All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Um,
Morning all.
Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. So, listen, this is going to be a great show. We got several things to talk about. Of course, the election, the Jacob Blake shooting, and as well as the Electoral College that is happening today. And it's funny, I found an interesting clip from when Trump got elected, or the Electoral College when Trump was going through the process that we're going to go through today for Joe Biden. So it's and this one was tamed, so I can't imagine what today's going to be like. But this clip is very interesting. Yes, we got Ephraim in the building, so this is going to
Morning,
be
fellas.
an
Morning.
amazing conversation. I'm so excited. So excited. All right. Good morning, Dr. Sims. Building. Great morning. Yes, Coach Georgia. Good morning, Mama McCory. So stay tuned. Make sure you share, tag, because we are going to have an awesome conversation here. And I'm very, very ecstatic. This election process was like going all night. It was like back and forth, tied up. You're like, what is about to happen? What is going to happen? All right, guys. So stay tuned, stand back, stand down as we move forward. I didn't want to catch
Good
that.
morning, good morning,
Camera.
good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody.
Right. All right. So let's get it. Let's get it. So again, good morning, and if thank you, my podcast listeners, for checking in and with us as well. Make sure you sharing out and rate and review on your podcast app, Apple, whatever, Google, whatever application you're using. And if you don't know where you're at, you're watching the Brothers of Legacy. To my right, left is Pastor Brian McCory. At the bottom is my brother Ephraim Terrell in the building. So the first thing we want to discuss is, and this is Hot Button Wednesday. If you don't know, I don't usually jump on hot topics every single day because there's so much more to talk about than just what's happening right now. So,
Right.
so I choose Wednesday to not ignore what's already in our face. So, today, the first thing I want to tackle is how you guys feeling about the election results. It looks like it's official. It looks like it's official that we've had official blue wave. So, how are we feeling about that, and what does that mean for our state as well as our country?
I don't know, man. It's just weird. Okay, when Trump lost, I felt like people just were saying we just oppose him. But if you look
Right.
at it, a lot of other senators and Republicans did very well. So I thought, okay, well, it makes sense. They just don't like him.
Right.
Let's get him out of there, but we still gonna stick to our way of life.
Right.
So for them to lose Georgia, for Georgia to go blue since '92,
Right.
and then on the verge of, let's just say Kelly was a bad candidate.
Right.
Let's say people just hyped about Warnock, and let's just say, okay, that's the one I knew. But Ossoff ran what 4 years ago and
Yes.
lost. We've had Purdue in this place for like 6 years.
Right.
He got the family ties with Sonny. I mean, you just think he's a strong candidate. He's he's a senator from Georgia.
Right.
So I was a little, I mean, be honest with you, even with how I voted, I still was a little shocked that it's going the way it's going. Because I don't know what that means. I just, because I see the different result on this TV than the Georgia I live in. I'll say it like that. I mean, I'm still seeing it out there, man. I work down in a very Trump country type of place, and I ride through it, and I ride in and out of it. I interact with people down on that end. So I'm not saying like somebody's burning crosses on my yard, but it doesn't look like the blue wave.
Right. I got you.
So
I got you.
I'm just at the point now. I don't know what this means. I know people happy because they know a check's going to get cut. But okay, when that 2,000 check is cashed, and then what?
Right.
I'm not totally sure. It just looks well, okay. But I say it like this. Now I get this to pass because I really want his take. But in order to be excited about the Senate runoff, you have to be overly excited about Joe Biden winning. I think I'm still excited that we don't have to deal with Trump anymore. More than I'm excited because don't forget, we still have to hold Joe's feet to the fire for what he promised. Right. So if I just knew in my gut that Joe was going to stick to every campaign promise, then I'd be excited that he just got some more tools to execute that. But I'm still focusing on him, making sure that he don't flip the switch on us. So I'm a little in between. Maybe it's too early. I don't know.
I got you. How you feeling, Pastor, about this election?
Listen, Brother Ephraim really said a mouthful. His take is completely consistent with what anybody that's been on here, this. I've been saying this. Everything he just said, you have heard from me. That this does not boil down to the person sitting in the White House.
Right.
I would agree that I'm happier to have Joe Biden because I wanted to get rid of Donald Trump.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not satisfied. I'm not excited about Joe Biden.
Right.
I feel like we've had to settle. I don't feel like, I think that anything is a step up from Donald Trump.
Right.
Barring Satan. But the reality is, have we taken a step forward? I'm not ready to say that. I will say this. I'm excited about the amount of attention we have garnered because Ephraim said something. You said I work in an area where what I see in that demographic is not consistent with the outcome of these elections.
Right.
And I'll say this. I will say that the tactical strategy that Ms. Abrams put together, the people that she got engaged, the soldiers on the ground, the feet on the ground, we have had a force out here operating unlike anything we have ever seen before. Right. I know that because if you can pull me out of my house and get me out, then you've really done something. Because for me, it's enough to express something and to go vote. But to get me out actually trying to campaign and get me out at a rally or something like that, that's a whole nother realm of motivation for me.
Right.
And that's what has happened. So when we talk about the shift, we talk about the people that have been responding to the strategy that has been put forth, not only in Georgia, but across the country.
Right.
And what does that mean? That means that you have more people in the underserved communities actually getting up, getting out of their homes and expressing themselves than you've ever had.
Exactly.
That's the difference. We have more. We have record turnout.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because we have record turnout, we realize, wow, we can actually make a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I was concerned about the Senate runoff.
Right.
Because we typically don't come back out for runoffs.
Yeah. Historically, yeah.
But for the runoff, because of the strategy, because of the tactical folks on the ground, we came out. And not only did we show up, we showed out.
Yeah.
And so there's something you've got to grab a hold of that. And this is not time to sit idly by. This is time to say, now I need to do even more. I have to be even more effective because we right now, what looks like a shift of momentum is only buying you 2 years.
Right.
Because you'll be right back here in 2 years. Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Yes, indeed. All I'm gonna say is I don't know who could ignore the 52,000 postcards and mailings and advertisements that
I saw
Go ahead.
I saw the numbers, man. They spent $539 million in Georgia.
Wow.
Buckets of money, man.
Right.
Before then, it was in North Carolina. That's the most they spent on a runoff, and it was a mid $100 million. So like the money that poured in.
Right.
I mean, they were putting advertisements on my kid's tablet, man. I mean, like people who can't even vote, like just in case your daddy is next to you while you watching SpongeBob, let me slide you this advertisement. So, like, I mean, even with stuff at the church, the marketing strategy, some tips, man. I've taken a lot from this. Because I'm not gonna say black people, but people in general. When you have something you want to get across them, you have to keep it in front of them. Even to the point of aggravation. So they really kept it before us. If you didn't know when the date was for the election, I don't know how not. If you didn't know who was running, I don't know how. Like how it was everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, so we saw the money, we poured it in. So the attention was great. I hope that this springboards Stacey to run again with Brian Kemp. You know, when President Trump came yesterday or the day before, he didn't invite Brian Kemp to the rally. He was not invited, the governor of the state. So the implosion with the Republican Party can be its own topic. Huge. I mean, and I hope last night showed these Republicans that swear that Trump is for them. He does not care about your party. No. I don't want to say this man don't care about America. I really want to watch how I put things out there like that. But I mean, man, he don't care about your party. Yeah, it's a rigged election. They cheating. But go vote real quick. Like, come on, man.
Listen, I feel like I do not agree with the sentiment that Trump is the reason for the two L's that they're taking in Georgia.
Okay.
I would agree that Trump disturbed some Republicans.
Right.
But Trump is not going to change how you feel about David Perdue. He's not going to change how you feel. Remember, we've always talked about this, right? He's not going to change how you feel about Kelly Loeffler. Republicans want Republicans. It's really just that simple. I think the difference here is that Democrats wanted change more than Republicans wanted Republicans.
Right.
And when you talk about America and you're not challenging how much Trump loves America, I would dare say that Trump loves his America, not America. He loves his version of America. And what he's afraid of is that his version of America is changing, that they're losing their leverage. That's the problem. But I will tell you that I believe that the Republican Party, specifically, I heard someone say that in this Senate runoff, that the two candidates, think about this. Didn't David Perdue win initially?
Right. Yeah. No. Well.
Right.
Yeah.
There was
Warnock won, and
Warnock
won his. Yeah.
Yes.
There was an expectation that there was going to be like a 20,000 vote margin in favor of Perdue.
Right.
And it got completely sidetracked. It got dismissed. Right.
Yeah.
There was an expectation that Ossoff was going to lose. Right. But that expectation, and I'm going to say this again, that expectation was predicated upon the lack of turnout from Democrats.
Right.
See, what people don't understand is if you turn out, you're going to make a difference.
Right.
Even if it means it's going to be a tight race. That's what we realize, because everybody still didn't vote.
Right. And we still,
but I think here's the mistake that the Conservative Party made.
Right.
The mistake that they made was, number one, not taking the coronavirus seriously in the beginning.
Right.
They took a poll. When they took the poll, they said that something like 60% of Republicans felt like the coronavirus was less important than economics in America. They said that on the Democrat side, that 60% of or 70% of Democrats felt like the coronavirus was the number one issue.
Right.
Okay. It wasn't like that. And Trump set that precedent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
He did.
That it wasn't that serious.
Right.
And so when they talk about America becoming a socialist nation by electing Democrats, putting Democrats in office, what people don't understand is in times of trouble in America,
right,
we lean towards socialism.
Right.
So when people are losing their jobs and people are going hungry, that's the time where the government has to step in, take charge, and become the hero, become the saving grace for America. And so while we're in COVID, this season of COVID-19, while we have economic downturn, people losing their jobs, people are losing their loved ones, they're looking for help.
Right.
And while they're looking for help, the Republicans are saying, "Oh my God, we're going to become a socialist country." But in this season, that's exactly what we need in America, and they missed it. They dropped the ball on that.
They did.
But and Pastor, I do believe that the got to get Trump out of there is what was the main motivation. But I can't deny a little bit of an implosion. He has a base that follows him, does what he says, and he just did not motivate them based off his own the system is rigged type of talk.
Right.
Like some people didn't show up because Trump has fed them, well, if it don't work out, we'll just start a civil war type situation. Like they had a few people on the Republican side that thought it was rigged. And they start buying into some of the rhetoric we used to hear in the black community where your vote doesn't matter. They're gonna do what they want to do anyways. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a small percentage of that is
absolutely,
I believe is what pays to this. But obviously, yeah, we showed up. I think there was on CNN, I think they said that we showed up more in this runoff than we did when we were voting for the president in 2016. So we definitely came out, and that was the overall, no doubt. But some of this infighting, some of this, the system ain't gonna work. They just whatever. I think it just turned people and said, no, I'm not coming out, especially if they didn't early vote. Because didn't that mess them up?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just thinking. I was wondering, didn't that mess them up with the when they didn't want to do the mail-in ballots? That's what messed them up on the first go round, right? Because they yeah. Right.
But historically, they're known for turning out on the day of.
Yeah,
that's when they vote. Okay.
And what they did not anticipate was the sheer number of Democrats that would send in their absentee ballot. What they don't understand is how accommodating this strategy was that Sarah Abrams put forth to make sure to get an absentee ballot in everybody's hand.
Yes.
It made it so easy. I mean, we put a class together, right? I presented a class to a jurisdiction of churches about getting the vote out. Right? I'd never done that before. But because of our leadership, Church of God in Christ, because of our bishop, he's like, put this program together, put some slides together. Let's present this to the churches, present this to the people so that everyone is informed. So what I'm saying is we were more informed in this season than we've ever been in my experience.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody was on board. Everybody's willing to play.
Right. And also what people don't, Raphael Warnock outperformed Joe Biden in every area in Georgia in this runoff.
Right. He did.
That's deep to me.
Yeah.
So real quick, let's get some shout outs. Sam in the building. She said, "Ooh, Ephraim." Look, he said, "Ephraim Terrell." Oh,
in the building.
Cheryl in the building. Great morning to you.
Hey, Cheryl.
Let's see, I think that's the lesser to you. That's Terry working and listening. He'll be back on. I think he said tomorrow. So we look forward to seeing him.
He almost got the studio back.
Right. So for the understand power of participation, yes, indeed. He said selfish intentions are being magnified. They've always been there. He said you're right, and Sam agreeing with right. Turnout matters. Just showing up. Cole Johnson, good morning. Said, what up?
What's up, man?
I
caught the sportscast.
Oh, nice. He said when these Republicans lose, the blame will fall squarely on Trump's shoulders because of his downplay of the virus. Definitely. And Pastor made that point. Like you got your word, and like you got to kind of switch your argument. Like push for the checks. You can fight against socialism, but it's kind of playing in our favor right now because people need the help from the government. Like we're looking like, hey, you shutting everything down. We need your assistance now. So it's like what is it from was it John Q, do something, do something. Help us.
What happens with just a question with the protocol piece? So what happens to McConnell? He just goes down. He becomes the minority leader, right?
He becomes minority leader. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Chuck Schumer becomes majority leader, and Mitch McConnell becomes minority leader.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. His voice is not as strong any longer.
And Kamala Harris makes the difference.
Yes.
The vice president. Yeah.
He said, I laughed so hard at the socialism being a bad thing narrative. The most socialist president before Trump was Reagan because the United States had to rebound from an economically tough decade before. All right, let's get Dwayne in the building.
Reaganomics.
Look at that. Got the angelic light on him.
What? Got that Prince aura.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Looking forward to the confirmation.
You want some pancakes?
Make it very great. Terry said, "Isn't he pressing Pence to jack up the proceedings today?" Yeah, he hasn't motivated anybody. I'm gonna show something on that. So when we move forward, a little throwback that I just found. I was like, "This is very interesting." Because for the most part, as we all know, most of the stuff that's happening today is just we don't ever pay attention to because no one really cared about it because it's just part of what happens because we already know who the president is going to be. But as we see with Trump fighting everything, we've followed the timeline and actually now we know exactly what happens after November 4th. So stuff we never really paid attention to. We thought we was just after November 4th. Oh, we good. That's it. Yeah. But this is what happens when concession doesn't happen. Let's see. He said, Goodson, hey, what's up? Boom, boom, boom. And he said, Dwayne Goodson, he said, America great again. Yeah, we are far away from there. But definitely it's the hope that change of office will be the start. Let's see. It's truly, yes, indeed. Pastors preached about that early in the year. Truly a year of exposure. Yes, I am confirmation of that. 2,000 everyday Trump won't be forgiven. But yeah, he won't be forgotten either. Never. All right. So you got the blue wave. All right. So I'm gonna move to the electoral shenanigans, and then we'll talk about Jacob Blake, which is a hot topic, hot button as well. So this is a clip from 2016, 4 years ago when Trump got elected. This is the Electoral College when Joe Biden was vice president. So he had to give it to, announce that President Trump is now the president of the United States. All right. So this is interesting. Let's see. And let me know if you guys can hear it.
Thank you, Mr. President. I object to a
Here.
From the state of North Carolina based on violations of the Voting Rights Act.
There's no debate in the joint session. The chair has previously ruled a signature from a senator is required. Is there a signature from a senator?
There is a signature from the House of Representatives, myself.
The objection cannot be received without a signature from the senator.
Mr. President, I object on behalf of the millions of Americans, including members of the intelligence community.
There is no debate. The debate is prohibited. The chair has previously ruled a signature from a senator is required. The objection cannot be sustained unless one is available.
Mr. President, despite grave concerns of the intelligence officials showing
objection
Russia
cannot be
interfered with
received.
our election, it is signed by my
Senator Klobuchar. Senator Klobuchar, continue to tally.
To the votes from the state of Wisconsin, which should not be legally certified
no debate.
or regularly
Does
given.
the gentlelady, does she?
In the city of Milwaukee,
Please come to order. The chair has previously ruled. Suspend. The gentlewoman will suspend. As the chair has previously ruled, a signature from a senator is required. Is there such a signature?
I do have a written document with
The
my
objection
signature on it
cannot be
seeking a senator,
received.
but the Russian intrusion.
The
See,
clerk
they
will
do.
continue to call the roll.
Yeah.
I wish to ask, is there one United States senator
Maxine
who will
Waters.
join me in this letter
There
of
is no
rejection?
debate. There is no debate.
Just one.
The gentlewoman will suspend. The chair has previously ruled a signature from a senator is required. Objection cannot be received.
I'm trying to make sense of what we saw. Is that shenanigans? Is that passion? Is people fighting for the country? Is it politics? Like what did we just see in that room?
It's shenanigans when you walk up to the podium knowing that you don't have a valid position. That's what makes it shenanigans. You walk up there just to express yourself, but you know walking up there that you're out of order. That's
Right.
shenanigans.
Right.
And maybe not even shenanigans. You just don't have a legal leg to stand on at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
No,
all
and
of you are up there because of your expertise in the law, in legislation, and you know what you're doing is wrong before you get up out of your seat.
Right.
That in and of itself makes it shenanigans.
Even if you
know,
feel right
if
about it.
your child is talking and you say you stop talking when grown folks are talking and they continue to run their mouth, you expect them to look for that pop in the mouth.
Right.
And,
Right.
and I agree, and I agree with the sentiment. I just don't agree with the word, only because it's not going to change anything. And this is the only thing I'm saying. Like, or by principle, or by law, or by my code or guidance program that we each individually are programmed with, you can feel any way you feel, and I'm not going to call it a shenanigan just because it's wrong or it's out of order, because sometimes wrong isn't as wrong because you don't hold the same opinion I hold. However, I completely wholeheartedly agree with you that regardless of what they were doing and how they felt about it, you didn't have a legal leg to stand on. So I think it was misplaced emotion, passion, or whatever the case may be, but that wasn't the place for it. Maybe.
Okay, now what you just said right there, brother, what you just said, see, that's the point that I'm making. What makes it, see, we may not like the word, right? But you said, even if you're wrong, here's the thing. That's great if you're ignorant of the process. But when you're an expert in the process and you understand that this is a reflection on the entire democratic system, and you're doing that, it's called shenanigans, because this is what we teach. And you're right. You have a right to express yourself, but there is a time and a place for that. And you know that's not the time. That's not the place for it. There's supposed to be some level of decorum. You know, we struggled with people lashing out at President Obama when he stood in the House.
Yeah.
It was shenanigans. You had no, it was so disrespectful. And what I'm saying is that's disrespect for the system, for the infrastructure that we call government. We hold it in the highest regard. You're sitting in the highest places in our government. And this is what you're doing. And it's on television. That, my brother, is ridiculous, empty rhetoric, AKA shenanigans.
Don't boo, vote.
Like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, the definition of shenanigans is something like a secret activity or illegal activity, something along those lines.
Let me go get Google.
And the only thing that I'm saying, I mess words up from time to time, often, but of America's biggest issues in anything is we misuse words all the time. And I agree with every sentiment you said, even if it's the law and the way it's always been. I'm okay with somebody pushing the envelope. However, the moment the vice president, which was President-elect Joe Biden, at the time when he said, "Okay, where's your signature? Oh, you don't got one? Okay, then let it be." I think at that point, okay, let it be. You don't like the way it's going. You voicing your opinion. You're speaking for the people that you represent. I'm okay with it. It's not gonna. Now, what I'm not okay with is you not accepting the vice president at the time telling you, "Hey, you out of pocket, you out of order. You don't have a
Please
leg to
come to
stand
order.
on. Let it go." At that point, okay, let it go. But I'm okay with every senator that felt like this Russian collusion. Which, I mean, let's look at the facts.
It was.
It was. So, I mean, history always stand on the side of the victor, right?
Right.
I mean, what looks good here today don't look good. I guarantee you, if they even thought like this, 1865, there was some people that was like, you know what? There's a whole lot of stuff that's fit to be jacked up in this country, and we're gonna do. The government has been full of shenanigans, is what I'm gonna say.
Absolutely.
The system has been full of shenanigans.
You can't tell me that they did not. There's no way that you can confirm that they did not plan this prior. That's in secret.
They got text messages.
Yeah, you know we're gonna get up there. I'm gonna get up there. I know he's gonna do it.
I wish he would.
That's shenanigans.
Yes, sir.
But this, I guess this is where I'm saying the difference is shenanigans. Their versions of what is being said, or the question of shenanigans, it doesn't hurt anybody. It makes for good TV, and it makes for a bunch of people who look like they butt hurt on TV.
Nah, it does hurt, brother. It hurts people like me when I go to the voting, when I go to the polls to vote. It hurts. The reason I say that is because I want serious, focused individuals representing me in Washington, D.C., right? And the problem that we have, and this is what I said, I am more anti-Trump than I am pro-Biden.
Yeah.
Why? Because of shenanigans, because you didn't take it seriously. Right. And right now, that's exactly what's going on. You're making a mockery.
Let me make sure I'm in the same room. Let me make sure I'm in the same room you are in, because from hearing your argument, I'm thinking that, wait a minute, I'm talking about the wrong thing. We are talking about the clip we just watched, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right. But we're talking about what I'm talking about is the difference between your version of what you call shenanigans and my version of what and my version of calling that shenanigans, right? And what I'm saying is there's a broader picture. The reason why I feel the way that I feel about that not being the time and that not being the place. And you said, I'm okay with it. You express yourself, and I'm like, yeah, but you said it doesn't harm anybody, and I'm saying it does. Shenanigans hurts people. It hurts people like me when I go to vote. Because when I go to vote, if you're supposed to be representing me and my issues, I expect you to take it seriously. I expect you to respect the process.
Okay,
is there an ounce of patriotism? Would anybody say that was close to it?
No, I absolutely feel
passionate fighting for their country. I'm out of order, yes, but I'm just saying.
I think just like Sam's comment says, folks wanted their objections to his presidency to be known, right? And there's a level, there is an out of order, because they talk, but then they stopped. Like I'm sure, like in the courtroom, like I don't agree with this, and so blah 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 blah. If you don't sit down, I'm what do they call contempt, and you go into jail. Then they stop. I push the envelope to right to the legal limit before any something legal has to happen to me. So I think their objection has to be known, and it's crazy. Halcino said, hold on, let me find it. Not the process over the people. In a sense, the country is created on the grounds of shenanigans. Now, I agree. Listen, now hear me out. I agree with Trump using the process of trying to sue the country, sue the states or whatever, trying to find something, for legally that's wrong. If I don't know if he truly feels like there was corruption or he's just stalling, but if there's actual, some kind of corruption happening with the voting process, I don't agree with him coming on and constantly saying things that are not true. That I don't, because like Pastor says, it devalues the voting process. Yeah. And, because I always watch, I'm like, okay, if Trump was my man, how would I be feeling right now? about the voting. If I've been following this dude like hardcore, following what he believed and feeling like fake news, and this is not, how would I feel about the voting process right now?
Can I ask a rhetorical question?
Sure, go ahead.
If any one of you guys was in a horrible relationship, and I'm glad you all got 3 healthy marriages before I ask a question like this. This is beautiful. But
I'm so happy.
If y'all were in a horrible relationship and you got news that your boo was cheating,
okay,
but no, that not my baby. Nah, we good. We've been rocking for 4. Everything good, and then you found out 3 years later that she was actually cheating on you with about 5 dudes. And at the time that you saw your boy tell you, "Hey, this ain't right," your girl foul something. And look, there's all types of interference with this, and we've got our. If look, I was an intelligence analyst. I know they don't always listen to us, but when you spend that type of money and that type of dedication, and you find out that there was actual collusion, can you call that shenanigans? See, this is my only problem. What they were standing for and arguing for at that point, even though President Joe Biden respected the system and fell through with the way the system is supposed to operate. So at the end of the day, we got the systematic, democratic American way of doing things done. And then you turn around and you find out, wait a minute, there actually was Russian collusion. There's actually documented fact that they interfered with
the
So how can that, even hindsight being 2020, how can we look back and say that process at that time was shenanigans? Now, if it happens now,
you say you're saying how can we say that?
Well, right now, okay. If you
listen,
he's saying though that he knew better though. Like if they went up there knowing that it wouldn't go through. So it totally was out of order for the chamber. But I'm saying,
okay, but does out of order make it improper when it's the right thing? I understand your stance right now. I 100% agree with you. Hindsight being 2020, looking back at that clip that we just saw, it wasn't shenanigans because
that's why I feel the patriotism comes in. That they passionate, like Sam said, they want their thing to be known. I get it, but I don't know. You got one. How many of us gonna do it? Like
the bottom line is there are other ways to make it known how you feel. All I'm saying, when you it's not like you don't have other options. Right. You have options.
Right.
I don't know what your question was when you talked about if you find out that all y'all got happy marriages. I never got the question if you found out your spouse was cheating. I never got the question on that one. Yeah. But what I'm saying is it's hard sometimes to admit that when your own people are jacked up.
Right.
It's hard. Yeah. But if you're going to hold the right accountable, you have to hold the left accountable.
Right.
And if the Republicans were doing that and you're a Democrat, you would call it shenanigans. And if the Democrats are doing it, you have to call it the same thing because the reality is you said it's not right. And the truth is that's exactly right. It's not right. And because it's not right, and because it was premeditated, it was planned, it's shenanigans.
Yeah,
it's really
by definition, at least. Yeah,
it is because you already knew, like everyone knows, they know the law. Like you said, they ain't new to this. They know
every one of those people that walked up to that microphone
already knew
the power to call a press conference. Everyone,
yeah.
They have the ability.
That Twitter feed alone,
they can call a press conference.
Yeah.
That's the
they got a voice.
Right. Yeah. It is a level of shenanigans. It's unfortunate that Halcino's made it right. He said order that's been agreed to is the right thing, not someone's opinion of what the right thing is. Right. They already know how the meetings go. They know how when it comes to this moment, they already know this is how it's supposed to go. Your objections come way before then. And like you said, if I want to just spout off at what I feel, they can all call a press conference. They could have came together and the whole world would have been watching. He said, I'm going to boycott. I'm not. I'm getting to him. Give me a second. We're having a heated debate. All right, let me go back because I wanted to get what Cole said. Cole said the thing is, we knew that Trump did not respect the process, unlike Nixon. where there was shenanigans, the blatant disrespect of political order from the Trump administration has been on Front Street. They disrespect. Sam said they disrespected the process. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
I guess they will put you in jail. Talking to my reference of contempt in
court.
court. Two rights brings all into dishonor, disrupt, I guess, around the world, which is true. Denial is still real, right? Denial is more than a river. To your point, Dwayne, I found out that information with my ex 2 years after our relationship was over. I mean, I could go back to that. That's
Cole,
like
did you choke her, Cole?
that's like,
Now, where did Dwayne go? I wanted to because
he's back. He's back. I just had to give him. He said
Okay.
AT&T agreed with you, Pastor, because he froze up while you was talking. AT&T said, "Don't shut the brother down."
See, that was shenanigans.
Boxers don't discredit the opponent to the extent of causing the integrity of the fight to be in question. That's
Right.
good right there. That's good. You're on point with your comments today, brother.
Milo ain't playing, man.
Right.
Hey, you gonna love that last one.
Oh God. Well, I couldn't back a candidate for jilting me that hard like that. Wrong is wrong every day of the week. Or we got that one. He said AT&T agreed. Does not look good around the world, which is true.
Right.
True.
That's the issue. Yeah.
If y'all ever see British Parliament, it like they
they go. Yeah, they go.
I watch it for fun. They go in.
If you think they go in, watch the South Korean
Yes. Oh
They
yeah.
get
South
in.
Korea, yeah.
They fight real for real.
They
They
fight.
throw hands. They throw hands.
They
They throw hands.
Yeah.
So I still remember when I was in Korea when President No lost the election. He took his shoes off and went to the new president and put hands on him. It ended up being a brawl for real. For real.
Send me whatever clip.
Alcino, you was good. I'm blocking you. Now I got the power to block you out. They all need to stop drinking bleach and playing in traffic. It's shenanigan.
All right.
Spoke too soon.
But I wanted to say something,
shit.
Dwayne. You said something. You know, I'll tell you. I've learned that. You know, I found out there were things that I could get past that I never thought I could get past in terms of pain. You know, when you were talking about relationships and stuff. So when it comes to politics and all of that, you know, pain is measured. The older you get, the more you measure pain differently.
How so?
Meaning something that would have caused me to quit 25 years ago, I can get back up on the horse today.
Facts.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When I have a conversation, you know, my wife and I've been together 23 years, married 22. There are things that we've argued about historically that other people have broken up over. Right. So when a young couple comes to me and they say, the woman says, well, he did this, or the man says, well, she did that, I'm saying to them, get over it. They're saying, I don't want to be with him anymore. Are you sure you want to wake up tomorrow morning with this person no longer in your life? Are you saying that this error, this mistake is now the definition of this individual to the point to where the value of this mistake has corrupted your relationship so much that you're willing to walk away? If that's the case, you don't understand relationship, you don't understand disagreement, you don't understand reconciliation or resolution.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
There are things that people break up over, and they learn years later, wow, I shouldn't have acted that way.
Right.
You know, and that's what I mean when I say the older you get, the more you grow, the more mature you become, you begin to measure pain differently. I'm not saying that pain is not any less pain,
right?
But you start to realize you can handle it more. In sports, they tell you there's a difference between being hurt and being injured.
Right.
You can play hurt, but you can't play injured.
Right.
But when you get off the court or off the field injured, you're only off temporarily while you heal.
Right.
And then you get back in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand? And that can be the same thing in relationships. There's certain things that, you know, that hurt, and you keep playing, you keep moving.
Right.
Then there's certain things, you know what? That's an injury. Now we got to take a pause.
Right.
And we got to go through a healing process so we can get back into this thing.
Right.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. And so when it comes to politics, to the point that Dwayne was making, I understand what you were saying. You were speaking from a perspective of relativity, how it feels or how it looks to you. And I was speaking from how it looks to me. And the question really is fundamentally, is it this or is it not this?
Right.
Right. And all I'm saying is whether we like it or not, the reality is you said there's enough factual based evidence that there was collusion from Russia.
Right.
So is it fair to say that there's a factual basis for them knowing before they went to the microphone that they were wrong?
Yeah. Right. Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Knowing the way the intel community works, yes.
Yeah.
I've been a part of that.
You may not like it.
Yeah. Right. And I've been a part of that system. And what you're saying is absolutely true. And I don't even know being so disagreeable with you today, sir. I don't.
You just want to fight.
Who did it? Because I sat there and I was saying, man, I agree with everything you said. Then there's this little word that keeps slipping out of the side of my head.
Fight them.
But I feel like a kid right now because I'm like, because when you were talking about relationships, you're absolutely right. What would have broken me 15, 20 years ago, I can deal with now.
Yeah.
However, when using that comparison to the United States, man, we had 45 times 4 to get it right. And we're still doing the same things we did when we was teenagers. I mean, the political side of things. And the one of the greatest motivating factors I ever heard in life, because I was an athlete growing up, was, hey, boy, you hurt or you injured.
Right.
Whenever it's a beautiful sentiment, but the reality of it was, you gonna man up and go in for this play, or I need to go send you to the doctor. It ain't had nothing about you. It was all about what can you do for me right now. But no, I completely agree. And the reality of it is, you're absolutely right. It was out of pocket. It was out of place. I guess the only thing that I look at that particular, because I'm pretty sure every January 5th it probably looks somewhat similar. There's somebody
that doesn't,
January 5th. And what made January 5th, 2017 so important, well, not even important, but what resonated with me was not only were there allegations, but there was facts before January 5th ever came out. If you look at some of the things that the government has released, some of those reports were finalized in December.
Right.
That showed even if we can't prove that there was direct contact, there were anomalies that absolutely can't be explained. And I think that with those things, I think the American government didn't do due diligence while holding timelines that we always held. Like, I understand a timeline has to be held, especially when it's a constitutional timeline that govern this country. But I think when there's cases where there are acts that can be brought to the table and there's truths that can be brought to the table, there needs to be some type of arbitration that happens that rectifies the situation so it doesn't become cankerous.
But it was there though. It's in place. She needed a signature from a senator, but she knew they weren't gonna give it to her. So it's in place. She just needs somebody else to be equally as patriotic. No. Not
you're right. No, you're absolutely right.
Just need somebody to agree with the way they believe is what I'm saying. I'm not saying if you don't believe Democrats, you're not patriotic. I'm just saying she needed somebody to believe what she was believing, but the process is there. They could have fought it, but they dropped the Kool-Aid.
And even watching that, it baffles me because how many senators got up saying the same thing?
Right.
And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, you just sat a senator down, Vice President.
Which is exactly what Republicans are doing right now in this electoral sign off today.
So let me get some clarification. Maybe Pastor, I don't know the political the electoral college. So is there a rule that if all four of us are senators, right?
Right.
And me and Terrell, we ain't buying. We think something was awry in the election, and we so happen to agree with President Trump at this point, right?
Right.
And both of us say, "Hey, our state voted for this, but we ain't signing off on it because, or we don't feel like we should because there's proof this, that, and the third." Now I know he feels like I feel. Since I'm feeling this way, well, I can't get his signature. I have to get somebody who's not in my state to agree with me. Is that the way it goes? Because I'm like, I saw like 3 people in that clip that said we ain't agreeing with this, and they all senators. Why can't I just go over and sign Maxine's paper? I agree with Max.
And see, I don't know. I say for myself because I'm learning from the news and watching, and and it's so funny to win because every reporter asks someone that's a specialist like, "Yo, is there anything that they can do?" And pretty much they're like, "Not really." I think everything can slow the process, but nothing's gonna stop it. And I think in the end, because I think Pence, knock that gavel, but like, nah, you out of order. He can. It seemed like the vice president could just pretty much shut down. Unless
the reports are coming out now that Trump's mad at him, Pence, because Pence said, "I'm not doing that."
Well, because constitutionally, all he is a moderator. He doesn't have any power in this arena.
Yeah. President, so he can allow chaos.
Tell that to Dick Cheney. Constitutionally, Dick Cheney was running this country, man.
Hey, look, that's because he shot George. He already showed George. Hey, look, don't make me pop you again.
I ain't playing with you.
I ain't gonna get your heart.
So Cole said, as we mature, we're supposed to build a emotional strength to ourselves. Breaking up with the girl because her hairstyle is not to my liking at 15 will not be considered a problem at 50. Perspective matters. True.
Yeah.
This is a great plug to my book.
Yeah, it is. Plug that thing.
Look, and I don't plug it often, but the name of my book is Excessive Baggage. And what the book is about, it's about learning how, when you've come out of a bad relationship, to unpack that relationship, to get rid of some of the things that you had in previous relationships that hold you no good, and pack the things that you're going to need for this relationship, so that this leg of your life is so much better and you live it in so much freedom that you didn't have before. So America, at this time, this is the point where everything about the previous 4 years made you sick. You need to learn to take those things. Sam, I ain't listening to you. This barbershop talk. You get too much time in barbershop. That's my boy right now. He passed the Brian, but that's my boy right now. But yeah, this is where we take and all those things that made us sick the last 4 years. We got to let those things go, because if we bring them with us in this next 4 years, whether we like Joe or whether we don't like Joe, whether we voted for him or we didn't vote for him, it's going to affect the country. And it may not affect up and running. I mean, but eventually that weight is going to carry down. I put it like this. This is a question that I pose in my book. Terrell, you're the perfect person to ask this question to, because you're born and raised in Florida. Now, right now, if you went to Florida, how does your wardrobe look?
Oh man, I'm sealed out. Shorts, a white tee, maybe the Jordan 4s, maybe. Yeah.
And now, if Pastor said, "Hey, son, I got a appointment for you to go be the appointed pastor for a month in Alaska," is your wardrobe to Florida about to be your wardrobe to Alaska?
No. I'm pulling out my John Gotti coat and everything then, man. Yeah.
And now look, and this is how the airline gets you.
Right.
Mr. Terrell, to unpack for Florida, you can just throw all your Alaska stuff in your suitcases. but we're gonna charge you for all that extra baggage you got.
Right.
Now you can take it with you as long as you want. You can bring 4 more bags on top of that, but we're gonna charge you for those bags, and that's how it is right now, America. We gotta unpack for the 45th regime and pack for the 46th. Now, what you hold on to from the 45th, it will cost you. Because we're in a new era right now. So it will cost you if you choose to hold on to it, or you can forgive, be like in an older in a relationship who realize that, hey, I can get a divorce for this, or I learned from this time and let me work this out.
I was listening to the show the other day, man. Y'all did a wonderful job. I got your next book, Dwayne. Here it is, bro. The Good Son, right? And you talk about you tell them stories you're talking about with your mama, with Katie. You know what I mean? Like Life and Time, and you release it on Mother's Day. There it is, bro. There it is. Y'all told some good stories, man. Yeah.
That's good.
There it is. The good. There it is, man. You got some good stories from your mom, bro. Like, straight preacher material.
Good idea. That's good.
I literally had to come off camera because
that's the one, bro.
My auntie just died this weekend.
Oh, sorry to hear that,
man. And it just, mortality is real, and and there's no date. My aunt was 85. My dad died at 60. My sister died at 50. I had another sister died at 36. Jeez. So my whole life is like that. Okay, I'm gonna come back. Death has been real.
Yeah.
And me and my cousin, he lived with his grandma. We had a long conversation yesterday, and the conversation that we had, he was like, "Man, I got to see my grandma be the praying mother. I got to see my grandma being the preacher woman. I got to see my grandma being a gangster." And I'm just like, that's the parts of them that we love.
Right.
And with you saying that, it highlighted our conversation. Life is not promised, but what holds families together are the memories of the strong people in the family, and then us carry memories out when they're no longer there to speak into our lives or to tell us how strong we are, what kind of stock we come from, and those type things. Right. Thank you, brother. Like,
man, it's needed, man.
You don't know what that idea. Thank you. Right. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go cry in the car for us.
Man.
All right. Oh, so I know we talked a lot about the election and things of that nature. So tomorrow, we're gonna tackle Jacob Blake, the shooting, the no indictment, because there's some things. I watched a PBS, and it's just because it's on PBS. They had a whole press conference. They had a special attorney come out and what they call it, investigation. You know, he did an internal investigation, and and they've never done it before. I guess because of the case itself. He said, "What?" He said, "Go cry with the mask on." Really?
You don't like that mask.
Yeah, he with the mask.
Cena must be getting the vaccine, man.
Right.
Hey, look,
we had 3,778 deaths yesterday. And he's still on that mask.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, he said, I never have an internal investigation at the airport. All right. Oh, all right. We're about to get out of here.
I wish I could change the time back, GA. I wish I can go.
Right. Oh, yeah. He said, 28. Right. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Before we get out of here, I just want to show you something. Let's see. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Can you guys hear that?
What's that?
Oh, okay, good. I hope not. All right.
I was like,
you hear nothing good. Oh,
you got a voice in your head, brother. Don't answer back. Don't answer back.
All right. So
look, I'm gonna embody Halcino for just a second, AD.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
That's for too many hours of wearing that mask. Just oxygen.
The oxygen ain't flowing right.
All right, so just something we talked about, the government process in other countries, just something that we could watch and be thankful that we're here in America, where it's a little more civil and less shenanigans. Oh, I've specifically picked South Korea so you can get the the gist of the craziness.
Show me this.
They get it. They get into it. They with the ish.
Hold on, did I pick? There you go.
Now this is Parliament now, Ephraim.
Oh,
that's the president.
Oh,
right.
I gotta know what they're fighting over. I wonder what it is.
Policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, which one make you put your hands on?
Don't agree. Right. It's like they said mid fight. Could you imagine?
He got a stick. You see the stick?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look.
Oh,
nah,
the top rope. This chaos, man.
I'll give you one reason why they fought when I was stationed in Korea.
Yeah.
America, Yongsan, which is one of the American bases in the center of Seoul. It's about 4.5 square miles, right?
Right.
Now, imagine 4.5 square miles in the center of Atlanta. If Atlanta was 20 million people,
yeah,
and it was being leased by the American government for $7 million a year. That's prime real estate. So there were several Koreans that said, we don't mind Americans being here, but they need to move out of Yongsan and give that property, because Korea before the 84 Olympics and after the 84 Olympics, so looking at the before and afters is like looking at Conyers and then comparing Conyers to downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
So you're talking about land that was estimated to be worth about $2 billion in real estate that we were leasing for $7.5. And some people saw the national security that America brought as being worth it. Other but as economic crippling that they had to change. And so nobody was changing each other's minds. Bottom line, today, if we were Korean, me and Pastor would have fought.
Man.
No, we wouldn't.
If we were Koreans and not
but it doesn't. Listen, even if you change my nationality, I would still have my personality, and I ain't getting no ring.
Fighting over land. Yeah.
No.
That beat Parliament, man. British Parliament.
It goes back to what I said earlier. At my age, right? At my age, this ain't nothing but a little disagreement. Right. That's all this is. Nothing more. Because the thing is, because I love you. And that's the thing that people have to recognize is that we can get on here and go straight at one another and get off here and be praying and lifting each other up.
Right. Yeah,
and that's the thing. I don't want anybody to get that misconstrued. We are brothers, and brothers go at it. If we don't, we may as well not even have a conversation.
Right. Yes,
yeah. But here's what I wanted to say, because speaking to that, to what you just said, Dwayne, about South Korea, the reality is in America, we are moving into a season right now where the underserved, the underprivileged, the disenfranchised have an opportunity to effect change.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now. Last night tonight people are going to hear a message if you tune in to Georgia Metro's Facebook, Georgia Metropolitan Ecclesiastical Jurisdiction's Facebook. You'll hear a message dealing with God is still in control.
Yes.
Yeah.
People don't understand that all while we were dealing with the last 4 years of madness, God was in control. Because God was in control when the children of Israel were locked down in Egypt. He was in control.
Right.
It was God who hardened the heart of Pharaoh. We
Right.
get mad at people. We get mad at Trump, and we fail to acknowledge God.
Right.
You understand? We down into your point, the Koreans, they fighting. We down here fighting and everything, and people don't realize God is still in control while you're going through all of this. So the question is, what is God saying? God is saying, I'm here. You should be looking to me. You keep looking. The reason you can't get along is because ain't none of y'all on your face praying.
Right. Right.
And even for the believer, you know, we've gotten involved in Reverend Raphael Warnock is now Senator Raphael Warnock.
Yeah.
Some would argue you telling me that you had to go so far as to run for office because your prayers weren't availing enough. Don't nobody want to hear that kind of preaching.
Yeah.
Nobody want to hear that kind of preaching. I've always said that my challenge was I don't like clergymen running for office. I just don't like that. But if I had to choose between him and what we've been dealing with, I'm going to choose him because he's more flexible.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand?
Right. I mean,
I want my preachers on the wall, not in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. But when you say it brings a level of integrity, like at least integrity.
No. Tell me how you're going to be an effective politician and you never make a deal.
Right.
Somebody's going to get hurt. That's all I'm saying. You can say that all you want to all day long, but the reality is, how much credence do you give? You know, I hate when people close to you air your dirty laundry when you're elevating.
Right.
Yeah.
Like his wife did.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You all see this. He puts up a great front and all this kind of stuff, but behind closed doors, this. What are you talking about? Why do that now?
Now.
Right. You understand? But here's the question. Is she lying?
Right.
Right.
You understand? Is what she's saying an untruth? Because the reality is, if she's standing there saying it on camera, somebody else must know it.
Right. True.
Right. So if there's truth to it, that's my problem. I'm not saying we don't have issues. Me and my wife go at it. I ain't perfect all the time. No, I'm far from it. Not even close. You understand? But I'd rather work that out here than to make you all think that I said something last night. I said, I thank God for my wife.
Right.
I thank God for my wife keeping me organized.
Right.
Even when I don't appreciate it. Pastor don't appreciate his wife.
Right.
You understand? What I'm saying is, can we be real? And what I don't like is your wife has to step out there and say what you see is not the truth because you're not giving us the truth.
Wow.
She wouldn't have that ability to say it if we already knew it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a shock.
Right.
If my wife stood up and said, yeah, sometimes Pastor McCoy be clowning, y'all be like, I believe that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It wouldn't be a shock to your system because I have humanized myself.
Right. Right.
That's the problem that I have with people of the cloth running for office. That's the problem that I have with people of the cloth acting like they're here and you're here.
Well, yeah. I don't like that.
We all trying to get to the same heaven.
Right.
We all dealing with all different types of temptations, and none of us have overcome them all.
Right. Keeping it real.
You understand? So we got to be, and that's the only issue that I have. And all I'm saying is, well, anyway, I made my point. I won't go any further because we'll be talking for another 20 minutes.
Man. And I almost want to say, yeah, stay right there, but I see AD looking down.
Yeah. Give us a line, AD.
I was like, ooh, that's good. I want to say something, but I see AD looking down. I'm like, I'm mad that I got self-control.
Halcino, in my house, when I use the bathroom, I put the seat down. When my wife uses the bathroom, she lifts the seat up.
See y'all looking out for each other. That's what I'm talking about.
I leave mine up.
That's teamwork.
And Tangent hate it.
Hey, look. Well, I hope the good doc don't fall in and you have to deal with that.
Hey man, they gonna send me to do it.
Listen, the reason why she lifts the seat up is that after being with me long enough, she knows there were times I wouldn't put the seat up to use it.
So that's self-preservation.
Corrective.
She ain't want to possibly sit on that. She want a dry seat, is what she said.
I don't want my wife to write a tell-all book. It'll be over. It'll be over. Kicked off the show.
Right. My life is predicated upon you don't have to Google me. Let me tell you, it was me. I did it.
I got a picture with me and a laptop. I'll tell people about this picture, but I'll never show this picture. But I'm in a lap. I'm on the bed with the laptop on my lap, and my wife takes a picture, and she sends me the picture. The caption, Mr. Brown much. From about 3 inches above my knees to about 4 inches below my knees, it looked like I rolled around a baby powder. And she took a picture of it.
Ashley Laird.
Yeah, listen, I got a lot of stuff. Yeah, the whole tell-all. Let me get I'm with you, Pastor. Just tell it all. Halcino said, I don't care if the seat up or down, aim on whatever it lands.
See, that's shenanigans. Right?
I agree with that.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Appreciate you guys rocking with us and hanging. And my podcast people, thank you for listening. Thank you, Pastor McCory, Dwayne Goodson, and my brother Ephraim Terrell. Appreciate you guys rocking and sharing. This has been an awesome broadcast once again. And thank you for my people watching and sharing and listening and coming through. These conversations help. I love doing this every morning. It is a joy, and I'm thankful for you guys watching. Hold on. We got the ladies. Hold on. He said, "Don't matter."
Why would I put it? I put it down for my wife, so that my wife doesn't have to.
Oh, after using it, right.
Yeah, after using it, I put it down when I'm done. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, GA. Listen, just know that we love you, but God loves you more. We appreciate you. I ain't got to ask you to vote because it's already over. Just stay vigilant. We got 2 years. And listen, in some states, you got to watch. There are interim elections. There's some that 1 year. There's like either mayor or something. Make sure you stay vigilant and know when your elected officials get elected, because sometimes people stay in office because others don't know when to vote. They don't make it a big thing. So just check your election board, your local election board. Stay on top of that. Check your local election board. Know when your elections are happening so you can have the right people in place. Because remember, there's sheriff, there's judges, there's mayors. These folk affect your everyday. All right.
And look. Y'all look. The two of y'all need to come up with a podcast that offers opposing views called Mask On, Mask Off.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna holler at you, Alcino. We're gonna go at it. We just go 30 minutes of going at it. That'll be good.
And every 5 minutes you got to bring up a mask reference. Y'all can go at it all day.
All day. All right, guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for rocking. We'll see you guys in the morning. I didn't want to catch that.
Good morning. Welcome to another episode. Good morning, everybody.